What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and today what I want to do is break down the trailer and sneak peeks for 10/16 of The Walking Dead. All this is absolutely fucking awesome, and I can't wait to hop into everything. Like, all of it is just oh my god. It is definitely and most certainly an awesome time to be a Walking Dead fan or anything. And before we do hop into this, all links to everything in the order will be linked down below in the description. So without further ado or any distractions, let's hop right into breaking down the trailer first. First, we get Gabriel running through the hospital, most likely telling everyone that the horde is here and everything, and getting everyone ready for a possible fight. But he stops for a second and looks out to somewhere or anything, and actually looks very scared and everything. So could this be a teaser for his comic death, where he just gets very scared and everything and falls? And we do have more teasers for that in the future in this trailer. Next, we get a look outside and everything, and we do see tons of walkers from the horde and anything walking around the hospital. Next, we get Gabriel in a living room giving a speech to everyone and anything. We do see Daryl here, meaning he did get back to the hospital safely. But in this scene, Gabriel mentions that the plan's still the same and everything, and 4 in each group. This could mean that this is their escape plan for leaving the hospital, 4 in each group or anything for leaving the hospital, in their groups. We see Carol slipping a knife under her sleeve and everything, like the Whispers do and everything, most likely for defense when they do leave the hospital. But then we go behind Carol and we do see Lydia, and this means we might have a moment between Lydia and Carol and everything in this episode, which I'm very excited / kind of, I guess, maybe scared for, since especially after the thing Carol did to her mother. Next, we get Daryl and everything, most likely talking to a small group, because he does mention we're not all gonna make it, kind of like Rick did and everything back then or anything, with a small group, because I doubt he would say this in front of the entire group, oh yeah, some of you guys might not make anything and might die and get ripped to shreds. But we then see, I think, Jules, Luke, Kelly, and I think Gage all leaving the hospital in the Walker covered jackets and everything, with the Walker guts and stuff like that, meaning this is how they will all escape and everything. But I wonder if someone will die in this group or just in any group realistically. Next, we see Daryl closing a door behind him, and if you look very closely, you could see that he has one of the Walker cover coats on and everything, meaning this is most likely in a he's in a group and everything that is now leaving the hospital, and that this is when he's leaving. We also see Judith, which is kind of weird because you'd think Daryl would not leave Judith, let Judith leave his side at all and everything during this, especially how she's gonna be going alone with others and how she might not listen. But in another shot, we see Carol is with Daryl and everything, and their group is about to leave, and we do see Judith's hand on the glass and everything. And to be honest, I'm very, very scared for Daryl and Carol and everything. I don't want either of them to die at all, but we might or will be getting a big finale death, so I'm very, very scared. But yet again, Norman Reedus did threaten to burn down the studio if they were ever kill his character off, so I guess he's safe. But next we go to Beta, and he's saying begin, he's saying just begin, and I'm not sure what this necessarily means. Maybe it's the horde breaking into the hospital and starting the invasion. Also, I did forget to mention this and everything earlier, but there are Whispers in the horde, so I feel there will be some deaths due to the Whispers. But we really get to see the horde shift and all of a sudden move in a different way, which is very odd. And we do see Beta and the horde and everything approaching the hospital. We next see Eugene, Ezekiel, Princess, and Yuma go on their bikes and riding to the meeting place to meet Stephanie and everything. But we weirdly enough hear Eugene say it's not it's way too late and everything to change stuff up and everything, that the rendezvous is set in stone. So maybe they want, or someone wants to change the meeting place for Stephanie's thing, but Eugene's we can't do that because it's set in stone, but we can't contact her or anything and change it up all of a sudden because we don't have the radio. And we also do get a shot of Eugene, and his head is bleeding, so I wonder what caused it. Maybe he fell off his bike. We next see the door to the hospital is barricaded and everything, starting to get knocked into, and we do see Judith, Gabriel, and a girl from Oceanside. But Judith mentions that they're coming up, so does this mean they're up high somewhere, upstairs and everything? But here's a tiny theory: they'll have to get down from somewhere and everything to avoid the horde, and Gabriel fails and dies somehow. So maybe that they're up high somewhere or anything, because Judith does mention anything in this shot that they are coming up. So maybe they're up high somewhere, and maybe maybe Gabriel does die. We next see Kelly put on a Whisper mask, which is cool and everything, but I do wonder if Kelly was the person we saw in the episode 16 poster that had on the Whisper mask that was behind Daryl. Maybe. We next see someone, maybe Jerry, open the door, but then we cut to Luke, Jules, and then Daryl leaving through the door and everything, most likely leaving in their groups and everything from the hospital. But then we go back inside the hospital, and we see a door and everything. We do see someone burst through this barricade and everything that is set up, and who is strong enough to do that and likes to do that? Beta Beta. He loves to burst through, like, you know, places and everything, like doors and barricades and stuff, and he's definitely strong enough to do it. We then see Gabriel, who is alone in this hallway and everything, load his, like, shotgun and point it at the door. So I do wonder if he stayed back while Judith and the girl, like, escaped and everything, that this might be the end of Gabriel by Beta, and that this is his, like, last stand. We next see Aaron in the woods killing some whispers, which is odd because, you know, last time we saw him and Alden, they were at gunpoint from, like, you know, whisperers. And maybe, and just maybe, there was a tiny theory going around and everything that it was Connie who was pointing this, like, you know, rifle at, like, you know, them. So it could be her and everything, because how else would they have escaped? We then see Eugene and the group walking into a train yard at night and everything, and all comic readers pretty much should know what's going to happen here. The Commonwealth soldiers will appear, shine bright lights on them and everything, and we'll tell them to get down and drop their weapons, and that's how we'll meet the Commonwealth. The last thing we see in this trailer and everything is Ezekiel giving a motivational speech to, I think, Eugene, since this is the angle and most likely seems like similar to the moment where, like, you know, we saw Eugene with his head bleeding. So that was the trailer and everything, and it was fucking awesome and everything. But now into the sneak peek, we pretty much see, like, you know, Eugene and everything, like going around and following him and everything through, like, you know, the hospital, who is running around, I think, helping everyone get ready to leave, and everyone who's preparing to just, like, you know, book it from the hospital. He does knock into Diane and everything, and it's kind of funny because they kind of get a little bit mean with each other, but then they try to be nice or anything, mainly because you can't really fight in a time like this. We see Gabriel stop and look out the window, kind of like we did in the trailer and everything, but now we do figure out where he, and, like, you know, what he is looking at. And he looks out and everything and pretty much sees the horde and actually looks scared. So he has on his priest outfit, he looks scared, and his death could happen in this episode, maybe. We then hear from behind him, we're scared, and it's from a bunch of, like, a group of, like, you know, children and everything, including RJ and some people, some little kids, I think, from Oceanside. And Gabriel delivers pretty much a speech that, like, you know, we're stronger together and everything, gives, like, some, like, you know, analogies, and starts naming the communities and everything, but leaves out one. Till a child asked, who is the last one? And Gabriel says, that is the others. But who are the others? That might be answered at the end of this, like, you know, sneak peek. We next cut to Daryl, Judith, Kelly, and Carol arriving back at the hospital, and they're running from the massive horde, but they do make it back inside alive. We next see Eugene and, like, you know, his group and everything riding fast to the meeting. We then see Virgil arrive at, like, you know, Oceanside and everything, which is very odd because Michonne did say to Virgil that if he does not come with her, that he can't leave the island because there's no other boats. So how did he make it off the island and to our land? We then see Aaron and Alden running through, like, you know, the woods and everything, finishing off the last of the Whispers, but weirdly enough, we do see a Whisper run behind Aaron and everything that does not run towards him, and Aaron doesn't even acknowledge it. But why? Could it be Connie, or is it another Whisper just running away and everything? Who knows? But then Aaron and Alden turn to this unknown person, which when I saw this, I was like, who the hell is this? But this person wields out two sickles and everything, but yet again, who the hell is this person? It reminds me a lot of Morgan from, I think, season 5 of The Walking Dead, but I doubt it's him, which is, there is a small chance it could be, but I strongly doubt it. But it could be Virgil and everything, since he is all of a sudden just back and everything, or it could be Connie. We next see someone uncover a hidden box and then they open it or anything, and we do see on the note it says Maggie, like who it's written to, and it pretty much names out and everything. It says that Enid, Jesus, Tara, and a bunch of others have died and everything, and it pretty much describes the Whisper group and everything. But then we pan up and it's fucking Maggie. Like, holy shit. Like, does this mean in the episode Maggie could help out, take out the Whisper horde and everything and the Whispers, and this note could be asking for help and everything? Maybe. She does look up and everything and is probably most likely flooded with emotions, figuring out that there's like a whole new enemy and everything, and that a lot of her friends, like very close friends, are dead. But she does look pretty badass and everything, and she does look ready to help and help and everything with the fight. So that was all the sneak peeks and the trailers we have so far. I'm personally flooded with emotions right now and everything after seeing this. Like, I'm excited, scared, and so fucking happy. And this is kind of going off script and everything, but honestly, with all the delays happening with all the shows and everything, after seeing tonight's episode 1015, which my review will be probably out later this week, since there's so much to talk about with that episode and everything, but I don't know how anyone can honestly be like pissed off or like sad that, like, you know, the delays happening, because after seeing all the sneak peeks, trailers, teasers, and everything tonight, I'm so hyped. Like, I'm nothing but hyped. So, are you excited for the return of Maggie? who is the person, like, you know, with the sickles and everything? What is Virgil doing back on our land? Will Gabriel die? And are you hyped for the episode? Or more of so, are you hyped for the finale of season 10? Make sure to leave your comments down below and everything, and let's have a discussion about this episode because I'm very excited for it. So like I said, everything, that was my breakdown for the sneak peeks and trailers for 10/16 of The Walking Dead. All the links to everything will be linked down below in the description, so you guys could all watch it out for yourselves, I think, which I highly recommend since all of this is awesome. You will not be disappointed at all. There was a trailer for, like, you know, or sneak peeks, and I think tons of different stuff, and I think for Fear the Walking Dead season 6 that just dropped and everything, and for the Walking Dead World Beyond, and the Rick Grimes movies that we'll make sure to cover this week. Tons of stuff to cover and everything, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more of that and everything and all of that. So yep, I'll see you guys later, my amigos, and peace out.